Hello, hello, hello. Back at it. Strictly not a how to fix show today, or attempting to fix, I guess would be a more proper term for a lot of the stuff. Trying to fix, attempting, same thing. But more of an opinion-based thing. Can you use an older computer in 2019? And that's a pretty broad question, because what we've got here today, let's flip over to another that's a bad one. Let's go here. This is, what do I want to call it? I always forget the name of these. I think an HP Compaq Elite. Let me look in the description. Or HP Compaq. It's I always want to call it an Elite or a Pro, but it's not. It's an HP Compaq DC7800 or 7800P. It's an older desktop with a Core 2 Duo E8300 in it, and I believe in this one it has 4 gigabytes of DDR2, more than likely DDR2 667, or maybe possibly DDR2 800, but I don't think it's the 800. But we can quite possibly take a look. So let's go ahead and flip back over here to this one. This is just another computer that we've got here. The hard drive needs put back in. We're waiting. It's getting the usual SSD upgrade. Sold them on that to extend the life of the computer a little bit. It's a little faster. Anyhow, we are connected up. Let's go ahead. We're going to turn this thing on and see if it goes on over to our repair. First and foremost, we're going to see if it boots on our KVM over here. And allegedly, wow, that's a wacky way to do that. I haven't seen that in quite a while. They've got a serial port from the motherboard to one of the I/O expansion ports. Alright, so it is booting up. We'll go ahead and flip over once it gets off the login screen. I like the picture. It's a giant lion and then this little bitty baby cub, if you've ever seen that Windows picture on your login screen. If you use 10 and have the not rotating, but the cycling pictures. Okay, so here's what we're up against right now. So for sure, an older computer. I do believe we need a drive. Let's plug this one in and see if we can't run CPU-Z. I heard that loud and clear. Alright, so it is starting up. It is a little slow. It may need a slight cleanup, or worst case scenario, we will back it up and okay, there's our screen. Let's look for CPU-Z. We do have it. Run the 64-bit. And this utility, I don't believe you need to run as admin. It's habit. more than anything. We'll run it anyhow. Let's see what we can come up with. I'm just going to hit OK. So there we go. We got a Core 2 Duo E. Oh, sorry. I put E80. 8300. It's an E8400. So let me go ahead and change that. Not that the description's going to change now anywhere I posted it, but hey, it's there. So an E8400. What is our cache? What do we got on board for cache? 32. So 6 megs. 6 meg on for the L2. Q45, Q43, revision 3. So an ICH10 chipset. Not too bad. Is it really DDR3? They made these boards? For this, yeah? Okay. I was aware, but I didn't think it was DDR3. So is that, what, 4 gigabytes of DDR? Let's check these memory modules. What? 4 gigs? Unreal. Of DDR3. I didn't know you could do that with a Core 2. So I'll change that in the description. DDR3. So definitely, like I said, older hardware, the Core 2. That Core 2 chip it's a good one. The E8400. I mean, you could probably go a little better. I don't know if they made much better than that, other than like the extreme version. I know let me find switch the camera over. I have a desktop under the bench here that is, I forget what it is. It's just one of your standard run-of-the-mill HP desktops, but it has a Q9400 in it, so a Core 2 quad chip in it, and it served its purpose well. That's what I ran the early streams with. I used it as a computer up until 2018. I think spring 2018 is when I switched over to everything that we run the stream now on. But this one here, we're going to go ahead and get some tools fired up on it to see what quite possibly it may have in store for us. We're going to fire up ADW Cleaner right now, if it ever loads. It doesn't, funny enough, I don't think it has. Let me look. And that'll make everything load a little quicker. I don't think it has USB 3.0, USB 3 at all. I would actually be surprised. No. Could we add it as an expansion card? Maybe. Maybe, however. I don't know if I ever saw USB 3 on these older ones. Would this work though? Are you going to do any gaming on a system like this? Possibly. You're lower graphically in like games that are not super graphically intensive. That's what I meant. I meant to say it that way. How many times did it take to actually nail it though? Yeah, I don't think. Maybe we could. If I had a spare GPU laying around, we'd power down, boot it up with like a 1050, or even if I had my old 660 here, I'd throw that in and see what it would do. As far as, yeah, okay, so it's getting some detections. The guy said it had a bit of an infection. I guess it wasn't unusable, so we'll go ahead and we'll do this cleanup while we're jibbing on about pointless stuff. Clean and restart later. We're not going to restart now if we have to, we will. So it wants to restart. Let's go ahead, we'll switch off of that over to this. I'm going to click restart on that just to get it rebooted. We'll get it fired back up. While we do that, maybe we can throw a drive here back in this little laptop. unmount you. So Core 2 chip, I think, and this is all strictly opinion. I'm not an authority on this stuff. I just have experience with using it, working on it. I think honestly, with the DDR3, and that's got to be some hybrid type of motherboard. I didn't know they made Core 2 boards that would handle DDR3. Maybe I did and just didn't think about it. I don't know. But I myself, like I said, I used one. It wasn't a Core 2 Duo, it was a Core 2 Quad motherboard. So a little bit different, but still very, very usable. Till midway 2018, then I switched over to a 7th gen Intel budget processor, which is not bad in its own right. Let's go ahead and sink this in here. We don't have the little sled for the hard drive, but we'll get that in. We did stick an additional stick of RAM in here. This thing is superbly slow. The hard drive is aging on it. It's not super loud, but it's one of those click and wait games. So we'll try booting this thing up in safe mode. We are almost booted back up in our desktop. I just wanted to, and granted, utilities are utilities. Are you going to do anything great on this big thing? Like I said, play the latest games? Probably not. You're not going to edit video and render that at an extremely fast rate. No. You could probably do Photoshop. It would take a while to render out those changes. But if you're average browsing and, browsing, surfing on the web, doing office work, and I guess some of that kind of falls in. I don't know how intense Office can be with PowerPoint and such. But if you're doing Word documents, just doing the browsing, maybe even streaming, we could even try a test. And granted, let me turn the volume down on this so we're not blowing anybody's ears out. But we'll see. What does this older hardware do, if it even works right? It already appears to be starting up faster with just one tool ran. So we, step one for a cleanup ran ADW cleaner, and it is running a little better already. Let's see what we can achieve with this while we're online here. Alright, we're going to let that finish starting up while we do. Let's see if the extra RAM makes a bit of difference with the boot up on this. This one takes a while too. Okay. Safe mode with networking. Let's try that. We're going to boot it up in safe mode just to see. Run one of our tools. See if it makes a difference. Not highly hopeful. Alright, 26 removed on our other one. Let's hop back over there. We're doing the hurry up. I love how that screen looks blue. It's really not blue. It's black with the white arrow. The white pointer. Actually, come to think of it, maybe we will do a test. I will dig out an old GPU. We have JRT running now, doing what it does. We'll get out the old Core 2 Quad, and I'll dig out a GPU. I don't know which one actually. One of them died, and one of them is just aging. I have, I think, a 7600 GS NVIDIA card, and then also the 9800 GT, an EVGA card. One is about to die and one's just getting, or already died. Like it, as soon as you throw anything graphically intensive at it, it just starts stuttering. And then the other one is just aging. It's slowed down a little over the course of its life, but it's still fairly good. We'll see what we can accomplish with the proper OBS settings and streaming off of a Core 2 quad system, not Duo. Actually, come to think of it, in 2018 we got upgraded all around personally in the shop. We were running a Core 2 Duo and a Core 2 quad system. We had an older Dell Optiplex tower that had a Core 2 Duo, and then my HP had the Core 2 quad. And that was just last year. Like this time last year is when we physically stopped using those and went to 7th gen Intel and then 3rd or 4th gen on the main office computer here. Here's where we're at over here. Just running through the tools. As a basic computer though, if you are at one of the places, like I think there's a surplus store in State College where you can go and buy computers, or you find another place, or a flea market. I don't know about flea markets. Like I don't know how many are around here, if there are any. Or you question getting an old computer and you see that Core 2 Duo, Core 2 Quad sticker on it, or the equivalent AMD chipset for then, which, what was let's look it up so we can be accurate here. Competitor. Competitor, there we go. Is that spelled right now? Alright, let's see what they say here on the forums. This is from 2009. Advised to build a Core 2 Duo system of what is the equivalent AMD chipset. Phenom 2X3s. Okay, so just this person is saying the Phenom X4, X3, and then the Athlon X2. So like the Athlon X2, 5300 plus, 5200 plus. Maybe they had a little higher. I don't remember all the AMD processors from that time. So not too bad. Yeah, if you see a system and it has that AMD Athlon X2 sticker on it, or the Phenom, even a Phenom sticker, and you can tell it's an older system. Or even if you don't know, ask somebody, find out that knows about hardware. Heck, give us a call here. We'll try and answer your question as best as possible. I wouldn't hesitate buying it if you're just getting it for basic going online tasks. Going online, watching some videos, doing homework, doing research, anything like that. Wouldn't hesitate at all. Where I draw the line is if you're going to don't pain yourself and buy an older computer. If you plan on doing content creation where you're working on photos in Lightroom or Photoshop, or editing video with After Effects and Premiere Pro, or really any video editing program, aside from like Movie Maker, like with Windows, making a DVDs or CDs, something like that. But other than that, yeah, I see no problem with it. And like I said, I do have the HP. It's here. Is it plugged in? If not, we'll get it out. I think it is. Yeah, we're not pulling that out tonight. We're going to get it out. We're going to try and run the stream. Either, let's say tomorrow. We'll get it out, get Windows on it, and see if we can fire up this stream with the old Core 2 system. And I can even jump it down. I know the Core 2 Quad will stream, but we'll try a Core 2 Duo processor and an older NVIDIA graphics card to see if we can get the same results. Can it run OBS, run the hardware? It's going to take a little bit to set up, but maybe we'll set it up on stream and then do a second one, like an after hours, to do it. Alright, moving on, another utility, JRT. Got some stuff out. Not a world of stuff, but we did get some results. We're going to head on over to the control panel and see what junk there is to remove. A couple good ways you can do this. Once you get there, once you don't forget what you're doing, install out programs and features. Let's make this a little bigger. You can go by the publisher, like who made it, alphabetically, or actually install date. If you look at your install date, and this is a few people hold this belief, or even the publishers, if you see a publisher that a bunch of stuff was installed on the same day and it's something you haven't heard of, like Microsoft, for example, let's do installed and flip it back to the oldest date. Okay, so we have Microsoft 7-zip essential program, but nothing actual crazy was installed. We can't even scroll. There's like hardly anything on this computer. But let's say you would see in here installed and it's a recent date, like last week or last month, and it's whatever, PC driver updater or driver updater pro, PC super clean, or a super scan plus, or any of those equivalent, the super clean utilities, whatever. There's a whole bunch of them. There's too many to even name. We'd be here all night trying to name them. And you see a bunch of stuff like toolbars and other stuff related to driver updater, software updaters. Now if you have like the HP updater and that, you don't need to remove that out of there. Like that's something that came with your computer for the if your computer's an HP or a Dell driver updater, something manufacturer specific. I'm not saying there's clones of that hardware that's bad, but in here I don't see any red flags just looking at this. Alright, so we'll close that. We are going to move on down the line. One other thing here. We'll cover this quick before we flip back to this computer. It looks like everything loaded on the laptop that we're messing with here. Alas, it didn't, unless it's just shut down because of being in safe mode. Did I lose it? There it be. One other place, if you have a bunch of, if you're one of the people out there, you're running one of these older computers, even an older laptop, don't matter, PC, or desktop, laptop, even all-in-ones, another little thing, we'll cover some tips and stuff, and just opinion stuff that you can do. You probably know what Control-Alt-Delete does. If you don't, let's see if we can show it on OBS. We'll do and it basically it's going to get you here. Control-Alt-Delete should bring up the screen where you see this and go to Open Task Manager. Okay, that's one way to get there. Another way to get there would be Control-Shift-Escape. So let's go. We'll put that to sleep for the moment. That would be Control-Shift and then just hit Escape. Get you the same window. You get your Task Manager up. Let's go. We'll close that. Just do that combo again. Control-Shift-Escape brings that up. Go ahead and look at Startup. See what all is enabled for starting up. Nothing major here. Look at your computer. You're probably going to see more. I mean, some computers don't have much, and those are usually people that don't use their computer very often. Modern computers have a lot of crap usually starting up unless you're one of the people that you get the computer, take it home the day that you get it, wipe out the hard drive, format it, and reinstall a fresh copy of Windows, which is my general practice when I get something. I don't want all the bloatware and garbage coming on it. But you can do that kind of key combination or Control-Alt-Delete, click on Task Manager, bring this up, shut down some of the stuff. If you're on an older version of Windows, you can have the older interface for it, which looks a little different. And if you don't get that window with the Control-Alt-Delete, you may get this one. If you do, just go to more details and you'll have this familiar looking window I was just showing you. Alright, too much to get through. That's starting up, that's not a lot of apps. In 2019, with the bloatware and everything they got coming on these computers when you buy them, that's not a lot. If this program stalls out too much, we're going to shut it down and try it again, let it run again. It seems to be doing something, but I don't know if the program locks up or there's just that much stuff and I haven't been patient enough. But I've had it sometimes sit at the miscellaneous checkpoint for a long, long time when doing this stuff. Did that freeze? Tell me it did. It did. Okay, you're back up to speed now. I wanted to finish looking at that while I had this open. We're going to go back out to the root of the drive and run CPU-Z again. I just wanted to finish looking through there while we're doing the cleanup in that. Q43 Express chipset. That's so crazy. I mean, maybe not to everybody out there, but to me, seeing what the heck is happening with the camera freezing up. Alright, here's what we're going to do. Okay, it does keep freezing up occasionally. We're going to deactivate the source when not showing, and hopefully that keeps it renewed. Deactivate when not showing. Okay, maybe that's what's freezing it up. Let's just leave it there. Nope, it's already locked up. Or is it? Is it? Alright, stop worrying about that. Go back to what I was doing. Looking. This is actually the program. I didn't know what. Where is it? Right cam. This tower. Got a black hole right on it. Looking bad. I didn't know what this was. All the identifiers are gone from it. Stickers that let us know what this is. So I actually fired up this program too, and I got the model of the motherboard is how I actually figured out what this thing was today. Or sorry, jump back there. See if our other program is finished. Alright, it did indeed. Let's go down and look. So, a lot of missing and a lot of incorrect image pass in there. What else? Did RKill help? It should have a little bit. this point, we will go where is it? Oh, never mind, they already have it on here. Oh, yes, the other thing. We're seeing if we're locking the gears up here. This may stutter to a halt while that loads. And that's one there. That's a perfect example. One of the things I'm talking about. When you're using these older computers. Now this could be due to infection from malware, any viruses, any of the little things that infect the computer. This could be from that. It could just be from the hard drive aging or dying. That's why you never know. Whenever you do a cleanup, there's still the stuff left over, some stuff left over messed up that Windows relies on, that needs repaired. After you do the cleanup, after your virus, you use your antivirus to remove whatever, or your anti-malware program, whatever utilities you're using to do the cleanup. There's still stuff left to do after that. Right, we are up to date. Wait, 9. No, we're not up to date. 2016. Give me a break. That's from 3 years ago. Is that really the last time this was ran? People, what are you doing not running your anti-malware program? Send it. Click that scan button. Get it done. Alright, back at it. Back at on this guy. Actually, let's see if we can see that. Can that be seen? Nah, you can't see it. It's just too nutty out there. It is a nuts rainstorm right now. About with that one. Kind of. Not so much. Just right where I want to be driving. Good, 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 good. Okay. Get back to our repair. Install now. Sure, why not? Let's install this new version they keep squawking about. We'll get the update. That way we'll be current for our program. Okay, I made a bad choice, my friends. This display does not deactivate when not showing it. And I think, yes, it does need to. Boy, we got some crap on this thing. This one. Just as far as toolbars and crap that's been installed to modify the Internet Explorer homepage. all a bunch of MS stuff. That stands for monkey shit. Bunch of crap. Wow. 2, 3. I bet they're sorry to see me go. It's breaking McAfee's heart that I'm leaving. 14-day trial. Thank you, Malwarebytes. They appreciate it. I don't. I hate your pop-ups. But these people will like it in the long run. We're going to, let's go back to the repair. Someday, see, that's the other thing to into it. Probably not. I mean, I do care. Why does stuff keep freezing up? Why? Other days, have I done, if I do a stream, this display you're seeing when I output to another computer doesn't freeze, but it keeps freezing here. And then I have to switch away and switch back to it, and then it unlocks. Yeah, no fun. I simply think that's the older symptom of an older computer. Yep, froze again. So a symptom of an older computer, older graphics chipset, which is just the onboard Intel graphics. If you're to have a problem and you're not using a dedicated graphics card like I know they say discrete, but, and I think that's just bad naming, an actual dedicated graphics card, that's where I think you would have issues with computing. Now, would you have issues for just your general stuff, like I said, the web surfing, or yeah, going online, surfing the web, social media, email, that type stuff? No, I don't think you would have problems graphically. Just like I said, with onboard graphics such as the integrated Intel, integrated AMD chipsets that they would put in some of the, what are the APU? Nah, I don't even know. Brain's fried at this point. When you start doing the more intensive stuff, or trying to do multi-display stuff, which we are here, we have one monitor here for our KVM, and then I'm also sending this out over DisplayPort to OBS, which is the computer over here on this side, and just freezes completely. So I think doing things like that, if you're going to run multi-display, something graphically intensive, that's where you're going to lose your mind, because your computer's going to stutter and be a little goofy. I'm working on two cleanups currently. This one here, that one there. This is getting an upgrade once the drive gets here. So maybe we'll stream that. Maybe we'll try and make it interesting. I really want to do the streaming with the older computer though, because I know I did it for a while. But I think I was relying on the lifting weight of the processor. I didn't have an idea how to go into OBS and set it so it would use the graphics card to do the streaming. You have to actually go in and set the settings a certain way to get it to use your graphics card versus your CPU. And that I did not have done. Alright. Am I reading that? Are y'all reading that right? Look at this. Do you see that? I'm not making that up. 148. So we are getting up there with Malwarebytes doing the cleanup. This is on the desktop if it would stop locking up. We're legit getting 148 so far and counting. We're going to open up their McAfee to see if it is a failed and long forgotten about subscription. If it is, we're going to remove it. I personally am not a McAfee fan. I'll show you the interface here. Where is it? Does not show info of people's. We'll check that first. Okay, so 6/13/2020, so they did pay for this. This is a subscribe thing. We're going to go ahead and keep it on here. I'm not a fan of McAfee. I can't say that it doesn't do anything. What I can say is it hasn't done anything great when I used it. It didn't protect the computer, at least in the way that I had wanted. I didn't buy it though. I just got the free one. I think that Verizon DSL handed out at the time, whatever version of McAfee that was. Alright, we had another jump, 148 or 184, whatever it is, up to 331. So we're getting some crap out of this old desktop here. This old HP Compaq DC 7800, whatever, something or other it is. 331. Even running the few utilities that I've ran here should get you a fairly... There's more to it than that. You should have a fairly decent cleanup. If you go ahead and just run ADW, JRT Arkill, and then Malwarebytes, that's going to get you some good results. Like I said, there's lots more to do after that. And that, I don't feel like doing the whole time I'm here work stream. There'd be a lot of in-between time. And that's generally what it is. Like, for example, you're working on this, and then you're going to take, and while you're waiting on a scan like this to finish, that's when you walk away and come over from here. You're going to work on this computer and then go to something else and doing phone calls, whatever else in between. We're not doing a whole live stream where that takes place all day. That would be just nuts and monotonous. To even consider watching that would be insane. I don't know. Would that be something people were interested in? Get it out there. Get the opinion of the people. What do they want to see? A real-time cleanup and Windows repair? That's a long video, man. I don't know. I don't know. Video. What are we at? 452. Now, granted, a lot of this stuff, Malwarebytes is fine. It's just going to be garbage chunk that probably came from Chrome or Internet Explorer, whatever browser they used. But I would definitely... This is something we would call infected. Majorly infected. Not really, because it did boot. It did boot and go to the desktop, and we're able to run our utilities. We didn't have to get in safe mode and shut other stuff down before starting this. We just start to clean up, and then we'll handle it as we get there. There are also those it's quite a few. Like, I don't success to failure ratio. Like, on the bad days, I think it's like 50-50. On the good days, it's like, there's a couple here and there. And in reality, there's more than a couple, but there's not an overwhelming amount. Not really an overwhelming amount. In that, where we take and go through the cleanup, go through the Windows repair, and it just, you lose it. It boots up and it's just still acting crazy because Windows isn't working. Or you'll do the cleanup, you'll do the repair process, you start it up, and Windows updates won't work. So you try to fix that, And right about the time you get that working, you open up your control panel and a lot of your links are still missing. You can try and go down the rabbit holes of finding out what's wrong, what's it going to take to fix said computer. That after the removal of threats in the Windows repair that still acts crazy or still has, whatever wrong with it, you can try and dive down that and spend a week, 2 weeks on it if you wanted, or more. Or you can grab the user's data, back it up, and reload the dang thing. That's actually not one of my favorite things to do. That's a little bit of a process, but if it's something you're going to fight with only to not figure out after wasting a day or two, I like to get down that road instead of keeping the customer's computer away from them. So I guess that would be a personal choice you have to make if you do find yourself working on these. Is that the route you would want to go? Do you have the utilities and everything to do that? Another thing is storage space. Say you want to do this for yourself or whatever. Where are you going to start storing all those data backups? Are you going to do one, fix the computer, or reinstall Windows, data back on, and then what? You're going to delete that data backup, or are you going to house them to keep archives? That way, when their computer dies, if it dies, say it dies a month or two down the road, or even a year or two, but they just had it in for repair a few months before it died, you have a backup up to that point. So is that something you keep for your clients, or do you, delete it all, get rid of it, delete the world, the Internet Archive will hold it all anyhow, except personal files, and sometimes even those. 592 and counting. Is it 9 or 8? 592. Look at this. This is the biggest number I've seen from Malwarebytes in a while. I like it when it gets up into the tens of thousands. That's also interesting too. Alright, let's hop off of that back to this. TomTom TurboTax Norton Identity Safe. Is that still loading? Probably not in safe mode, and it's from 2013. We will ask them about that. That may be something else. Bleo. What is Bleo? Does anybody know? Alright, we're firing up the Norton interface just to see what. Does it still work? What's the deal with it? I don't know if we're about done here. It's still got to get to that last step and spin for a little bit, but it has stalled out with the counting for quite a bit. Whenever you see that, it's either trying to find something that's like the big holding point for letting you clean out a lot of junk, or it's getting toward the end. That's the two usual things that we see, that I've seen. I don't want to say we. There's nobody else here. Just my imaginary friends helping me multitask and make this great content. So yeah, either it's bang, look at that. That was that holding point where it was a little bit stuck. And that just jumped from what to 9 something? That's like 400 more. Are you even kidding me right now? We're gonna see how high this number goes. I will show you before I end the stream. We're gonna see what malwarebytes will dig up. I was told that it was infected, and it was supposed to be bad, and I didn't think so initially running the computer, but I was very soon did I stick my foot in my mouth, because it is. Go here. I forgot what all I had disabled. 1,286. Still counting. Still counting. That's unreal. Usually it's a couple. I think it's usually the cleanups I've done lately, as far as removing malware and other stuff, have been under 100. Easy. So I'm going to have real fun with this one. By all rights, this is a cleanup we should do all in one live stream. Cleanup and Windows repair. However, we don't have that much time tonight. I am going to head out of here as soon as this one's done. Go home and see the kids. School's still a thing. As for this year, it's not out yet, so bedtime's coming soon. That had another big jump. Let's switch away from it and bring it back. 1490, 798, and still going. Wow. Alright. Malwarebytes, way to go. As long as you can remove it all, we'll be good. 561. 71. It's just counting. That's crazy. I'll let that go for a little bit. Alright, so we rebooted out of safe mode. No way, no how, none of the USB ports could this little flash drive be detected on this laptop. So we're rebooting to boot up normally, where everything falls to pieces, and see if we can get at least ADW something running in order to start the same process on this one all over again. Okay. Oh, it was just a different ad. 1708. Okay, so what I'm seeing here now on Malwarebytes, just so we're looking at the same thing. That JWrapper remote, whatever, there's a lot of stuff that was passing by as it was scanning all those separate files about remote access. And that's always one of the scares whenever tech support calls you, you know. And you're at home, your phone rings, you pick it up. And, you know, this is tech support calling. We notice that you have whatever viruses on your PC or your drivers are out of date. We can go ahead and fix that for you. And they con people into letting them connect remotely. And then, yeah, I mean, you've probably gotten a call. Now, whether or not you fell for it, different story. I would love to know everything they do to people's computers in those instances. Alright, so we are able to close some stuff out. The RAM definitely helped this computer. Is going to be usable? Probably not. We're still more than likely going to have to run some stuff on it. Alright. This bag I ran out for like a few quick seconds, get some fresh air. It feels like it's like 100 degrees in the shop here. Humidity is a pain. Well, that imagine if you had a certain Apple computer and you had it in a humid environment like this, it would trigger the moisture sensors. The liquid sensors in your laptop would get triggered, and it could quite even possibly parts of it or the whole thing stop working because you had it in a damp environment. Fix that one, Apple. Don't let your customers hang. But we know you won't. So I keep thinking this other computer, this one that we're working on, this here, is about done, and it just, I mean, 1726 it's been at, but it just keeps scanning and scanning. I don't know, I may leave it here. If I do, we'll come back to it in the morning if I leave you here for the night. For right now, let's see what will start up and won't on this one. Everything appears to be started up. Let's try and find our USB drive now. It detected them earlier. Is it going to detect it now? I have no clue. It does detect it being plugged in, but is not reading from it. Let's try a different one. Alright, good news, people, good news. Do we have an HDMI? Alright, tried like hell and it got it. Actually installed it. I don't know what results we're going to get. We'll 100% try it there to see what can we come up with. This cable should be the topic of much frustration. It would not catch video for a live stream of the podcast. It was mighty frustrating. So our device is ready to use. We're going to need another source. I guess I will set that up very quickly. Let's go ahead and remove that. Yes, we'll remove another one. Remove, yes. We'll even remove that. We're going to call this sounds good, repair 2. And let's add a video capture device to this one. Device default. Custom. You know what? Like for 1080 FPS. Sounds good. We're not going to use the audio. Or the cam link. Let's make sure it didn't switch my audio, because stuff does like hijacking audio. Alright, it still seems good, and there you guys go. You should see that the screen came up. And it will be right back. Okay, so as you can see, we have the graphical glitching, like where stuff takes forever to load. We're going to go ahead and open this up to view the files. We'll fire up a kind of recent version of ADW on this one. Always right click and run as admin for your utilities. Maybe you don't have to, but it's not going to hurt, and if it is in a position to help, it will help. So I guess that's kind of one of those things of, you're not really going to lose anything, but you could potentially gain something running as admin. So that's why I generally do it. Now I just need a button for that one. Let me think about this. That's our media, that's our stop. We need a button to make it to this one. And we can do that. So we should be able to flip back and forth now. I like it. It works. Okay. So we'll... Now I just gotta remember the right mouse and keyboard combo. Clean and restart. Now we can hop back over. Look at this. Oh, 1,726. You don't say, Malwarebytes. Is the scan complete? Did you find some crap to remove or what? Some crap. Look at that. Look at that. It's ridiculous. Okay. Wow. Okay, quarantine selected. Pretty good. I'll take it. With Malwarebytes removing that much stuff and the combination of rkill and JRT, the few that they removed, rkill more so than JRT, I believe, if memory serves correctly on this desktop here. And now Malwarebytes pulling that out. This should run like a partially new computer, or at least a new to it, partially new computer with everything that came out. So we'll see. Another thing that doesn't hurt, and if I didn't say this before, okay, maybe I did, I repeat myself a lot. Run your utilities again. Don't be afraid to run ADW a second time. Malwarebytes a second time. Not lately have I ran into it, but in the past, and then a few years back, like on Windows 7 strictly, like in before maybe, Malwarebytes when you would run it, you could run it once, it would take and get something out. That can go either good or bad, both ways. Like you run Malwarebytes on your computer, it takes some stuff out, it reboots, removes it, and then it comes back up, and you scan and it finds even more, and you remove it. I've had it go through that cycle 2-3 times sometimes, and it still wasn't done. Usually those are the really bad computers where you can't quite get it all and it keeps detecting, or yeah, it could be a mess. So patience with it. If you want your computer running good, go through it. I don't think I mean, Mac's pretty safe. Linux, even safer. But you're going to run into something out there while you're doing this and that. Here's our other computer. It came back up. And that was the remove stuff. 3 little threads. We're going to go ahead and... I need a shortcut. I can't keep coming to start every time to get to File Explorer, and they don't have the icon down here. Can we add it back? Toolbars? Hurry up and wait. Alright, let's pin that. It's a long, convoluted way to get your File Explorer open. Look at this, look at this. This is just on and on. It's trying. It's counting them up. Counting up to remove it. Yikes. Alright, that came up. Let's go ahead and pop in here and run a few of the other utilities. Go away. Why are you here? Why are you stuck on my screen? Almost getting there. Alright, and it made it finally. Yes, we're 100% going to restart and let it do its thing. We're going to pop on over to this one. Press our key to continue. Let this run. And we will let the other one come back up, friends. And I think that I'm going to let it rest there for today. Like I said, this was not strictly a how-to or trying to fix, trying to clean up a computer, trying to clean up, or how to clean up a computer. This is more just an opinion thing to see this older hardware, this awesome older hardware, this old Core 2 Duo E8400 CPU with a hybrid board, I think DDR3, running in 2019. Not in bad shape. You got a few cobwebs there, but even in the cleanest of environments where computers came out of, and I'm not talking labs, I'm talking environments like people clean their house, keep it fairly super clean, you still get these little dust cobwebs, whatever in them, little dust bunnies. Other than that, pretty pristine shape, no failed hardware on it that I know of. Good to see this old stuff running in 2019. Very usable for your basic tasks that you don't need to do a lot. I would 100% use it. And I did, up until like this time of 2018. Oh, is it going to pop the name up if I try to show you? And it did. Dang it. Right as I hit it, it popped it up. So yeah, there's that tiger thing. Come on, you can do it. Start it up. Start it up. I mean, a first name isn't as bad as like a last name or a first and last name or an email if they happen to have a live account, but still, I don't like just throwing names out there all over the internet on the line, As soon as it starts up, we're going to fire it up and get the next step going, and I will see everyone tomorrow after that. We are getting to a desktop, but it's taking a bit to load. Remember, this just had some garbage removed from it. So any of that garbage that affected any parts of Windows where that garbage was stashed, or if it affected anything around it or where it was stashed, that's the stuff that all needs repaired. And that comes one of the last steps in the chain of cleanup, and then clean up, clean out, and then Windows repair. So we will cover that at some point. It's all random. And it's still loading. So that's where we are. We're bouncing between two. We're pretty, like, not tied up, but we've got one that we're waiting on the system, the tool to do its thing there, and the other one is in the process of getting booted up after that vicious malware removal. 1726, what a number. Unless I didn't stop. That's what I remember. Alright, what do we have starting up? We got Easy Printer, Samsung, Windows Defender, USB prompt. Alright, well, if that's it, that's it. Where did I really do that? Alright, yeah. So still, as you can see, I click. Everything's taking a bit. Here, we'll click on File Explorer. I know we have one or two things trying to come up. So, older computer, yes. Dead to the world, no. However, there's still a bit to do of the cleanup. We'll hop back onto that tomorrow. There is our files. Alright, tied up. This is where, draw the line. Let's get one thing fired up and we can walk away knowing that everything is doing something. Alright, people, have a good evening. We have an equivalent to C cleaner running there. I don't know that they do the exact same thing, but fairly decent program. I like it. Get out here, you. Alright. So anyhow, thank you for hanging out. More of an opinion than a how-to, or trying to, or this is how. Not really great at that today. Or any day, actually. But this is just an opinion on older hardware. Awesome. Awesome seeing this. I've been an Intel fan for years. It's awesome seeing this old E8400 Core 2 chip in here. Thumbs up for that, man. Intel's awesome. So is AMD. Don't let people's opinions sway you. You can get good performing hardware if you're building a custom desktop or getting a laptop nowadays versus years ago. You can get that a nice running computer, AMD or Intel. Make up your own mind. You know, do you want to spend less money or do you want to flaunt it and say, hey, awesome computer? They're both good. That's why they exist. That's why they compete with each other. One always pulls ahead of the other, and then the other one pulls back ahead. Maybe not in that order. It might be ahead a couple steps, and then the other one catches up, passes. They've been competing for years. AMD, Intel. I'm just happen to be an Intel fan here, and I will praise them anytime I get a chance. But make up your own mind when buying it. That's just what I prefer. Anyhow, have a good evening. I will see you tomorrow with hopefully an open hours. We're going to do something. Not sure what. Do you really want to see a full length how to? That's a lot of time you're going to have to invest to watch that. A lot of dead time. I mean, I could record it and then edit it down. I don't think that's going to be that fun. I don't know. Let me know. Leave the comments. Type down below. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you tomorrow.